Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victor Oya and I go by the other rate Victor Oya in one block, other rate Victor Oya 6481 in YouTube or on YouTube. I don't know which way. Yeah guys, so we're just passing time. Lazy day of course. Today I'm not gonna walk out and make some video, I just thought of making some porridge. And I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, because there's not much activity. Actually, I wanted to go to the cyber, and then when I went, not that I wanted, I went, and when I reached there, I found that it's closed. Of course, you know what has happened, with the passing on of a late, now we use the name late Honourable, Right Honourable, Raila Amolo Odinga, which quite respected revolutionary, the great reconciliator of the country, handshake, great person, great politician in Kenya, and I think across Africa. So it's a kind of somber mood, and there's not much taking place. I went to the main road there, Kamai Road there. There was nothing actually. We found most of the stalls were empty. Maybe later in the day they will be on. I don't know. Because of course, when you're talking of the name Raila, it's a mugumo tree. It's not really something that I'm learning. I'm saying mugumo trees. Ngugi wa Thiong'o is the writer who wrote about mugumo, tall tree has fallen. So when a tall tree falls, it can mean anything. Mystics apart. Mystics, right? What do you call it? Significance of something that happens. Yeah, without being superstitious in a way, but it is natural, life. You born, you live, you die. It's a nice cycle of life, As now the physicists who won the Nobel Prize, it says life is quanta, not life, everything is a quanta. Quantum means the tiniest state of any existence. Quark, even below quark. Right? I don't know whether it makes sense for those who are not scientists. Quark. So yeah, that's what is going on. Yeah. So like I want to, I greatly admire actually the courage of the late. Now it's late because he has passed on and we fought multi-party. I suffered and all that, for democracies to exist, a multi-party to exist. So yeah, quite something. It's quite something. Because I've been following the Odingas from even his Raila Odinga and his father Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. My father used to talk much about him to us, and one time he told us that one time Jaramogi, the father now to Raila, one time he told the British that Kenya is Marwa. And I asked my dad, what does Marwa mean? Marwa, even the British man had to look for a dictionary, That word doesn't exist. It's a great politician, it's a politics. It didn't exist, but it meant Kenya is mine. Yeah, guys, so this is what is happening today. LG. I think hope everything's gonna go right because this looks like something very natural that has taken place. I mean, it's natural when people pass on. Yeah, people pass on. Great men have passed on. Robert Mugabe was one of them, Zimbabwe, the Nkrumahs. Yeah, we're not talking about Africa actually, not outside Africa. Also outside Africa, we have people like Mahatma Gandhi. Though Gandhi is not regarded nowadays, there are some evidence emerging that he was kind of anti, I don't want to go deep. So those who want to refer about his history, but he's regarded a great statesman and they quoted extensively in the scholarly world. Martin Luther King, this is I told you guys this is a talking video. There's this Star Wars. Also, I was inspired by Reagan Star Wars. was true. And when the late the founding father passed on, we had kids, but we started going to school then, and we were told the end of the world has come, and I was it. Oh, the end of the world has come. Kenyatta, Jomo Kenyatta had passed on. As we know, like kids were scared when we were told the end of the world. Yeah, guys. So now let's mourn. We have 7 days, which was declared by this by the administration, by the government rather. Let me say so. 7 days of mourning, flags flying, half mast. And friends of Kenya, of course, are gonna send condolences because this is a great personality. Yeah, already they are falling in, I think, lots of them. So you just chill. I hope the cyber will be opened because I really needed to also follow the story. I'm not connected here. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi is not working. So I was relying on the cyber to go and follow up the story because I don't think I can make it to Kasarani where people are viewing the body. I can't make it because of logistics also, and I don't even know what, guys, I don't even know where Kasarani is. So the topic here is that the Mugumo tree has fallen. Now let's say it's a tall tree according to Ngugi. I think it's Ngugi wa Thiong'o who said that. I'm repeating that. So people naturally, as Kenyans, we want to go and view the body in a way like paying respects. But not everybody was following Raila, to be honest. I mean, not like following, what do I say? Yeah, people are following, and the people like the contribution that's made, but there's some people who had maybe it's a mixed reaction. That's I saw one video on YouTube saying mixed reaction. I don't know what that means. So I'm not following me. I'm talking from my personal perspective, what I knew of this person, and like a great reconciliator. I mean, when things were so bad, everybody got tuned for maybe there were a lot of handshakes, of course, and that meant a lot in bringing peace. So, in politics, we are not politicians, but we just follow and see what is happening in our country and what is likely to happen now that something like this has happened. I don't think that there's much really that is going to change in terms of what Raila stood for or what the country is, because Kenyans in general, we Kenyans, because I'm a Kenyan, we love peace. Yeah, we are peaceful people, we love peace, we need a peaceful country. So Kenyans love peace, and that's why Kenya stands out in the region because of peace. And we've seen the experiences of our neighbors, so we are smart. If I can use the name smart. Kenyans are smart. So is this an analogy? I don't know what to call it. A guambo. May I use the name I liked most about Odinga was Tinga. Tinga. Tipim. Tipim no. Tinga. Tinga was the name. Actually, I was not in the country. I came very, very recently in this country, but I used to follow Kenyans. As a Kenyan living abroad, I was following the story about Kenya, the politics from, I think I left when Moi was in power at that time. And then came Kibaki. Then I was following all the story all along, you know. So, yeah, pretty much. And now we say RIP, R-I-P, RIP. May his soul rest in peace. But that's a journey, you know. That's everybody's going there, you know. Everything with a beginning is going to have an end, unless, of course, some great scientific breakthroughs come through. Like there was reading something, I think somewhere, whether it's science fiction or something, that there will come a time when you walk to a clinic, you say how long you want to live, and you're given an injection. And they say that it's going to happen very soon, 2035. But that's what I don't want to rumor monger, you know, spirit things that don't exist. You know, we follow science fiction a lot, you know. That's not like fiction, researches are going on. But, you know, sometimes you wonder, like now somebody, like now the late, if there was something to stop it, it could have stopped. You know, the body was flown. I mean, the patient went there and nothing, even in India, being the pharmacy of the world, could do to change things. So when your day comes, actually it comes, you can't stop it. And we can only say may his soul rest in peace in eternity, until those who knew him physically will meet with him in the next afterlife, you know. Because I do believe that there's a spiritual world. I do believe. I don't know whether people find it to be nonsensical, but me, as a spiritual man, believes that there's somewhere that, I mean, in a quanta state, as they say, quanta state, your spirit might be flow. It's like, okay, you can be conscious. The spirit will not be conscious, but does exist. The spirit does exist and goes somewhere. I don't know where they go somewhere, floats in space in tiny microscopic states, or not even micro in tiny states. Does it make sense? Yeah, actually it does make sense a lot, because when you come to think of it, you know, even God is a spirit. That's why you say Jenny. Like if you go to live in a Muslim society, community, sorry I'm mixing up the stuff, you know, but you're getting the drift. You say I was living in Kibera. I've said that in one of my videos, I think, where I used to see these things called Jenny. Those were spirits, lowly spirits who live with people, you know. Somebody told me, you go to Kariako, you can purchase them there. So if these things exist, can we talk of interdimensional? No, interdimensional things quite different, you know. Other dimensions, interdimensional, other dimensions, like paranormals, when they occur, things that you can't scientifically explain where they occur. You know, you can easily dismiss this thing as bullshit, but they do exist. They do exist, because that time when we were kids, and when I grew up in Kibera, that time Nubian society was living there, and these things were there, very common, and I was seeing them. They sometimes can come like flying birds and stuff like that. They can change to cats, right? So what are these things? What are they? There is, of course, a world that we don't understand, that exists beyond our understanding. And that's what I call spirit. So when somebody says that it's spiritual, it should make a lot of sense. Being spiritual is good. Many physicalities do fade away, you know, somebody. You know, what I always say is that the day you were born, there was a 50-50 chance of your existence since you were a baby. So, and I don't really argue that there's a time when now you should go, you know, because there's always a 50% chance that you can actually go. And there's also the 50% percent chance that you live in. So that possibility has been there since you're born, because children do die also. So yeah, it's the time your time comes, that people live over well over 100, 120, and you personally, somebody who lived 127. We used to school with his great grandson was my classmate. So we used to go to him to listen to his stories. He used to tell us about the 18th century things which happened, because we were reading history, the class of history, how the colonial came, what they did. Yeah, because he was then, he lived that time, the 18th century. It's over 100 years, so it depends on somebody's genes also. Yeah, anyway, this is a sad moment for Kenya, and it's sad for those who followed the late Honourable Raila, who were inspired by him, his politics. Of course, a Kenyan, of course, you will definitely feel something, that there's heavy atmosphere around his passing on, being a great statesman that he was across Africa, for I believe so, because I remember there's a time I was infrastructure something in the continent. So it's somebody who recognized, not only in Kenya but also abroad. So it's something big, big. And yeah, I hope my cyber cave is gonna open, and so that I can go and follow up the stories. As I'm not sure that I would have even gone to that Kasarani even if I had the means, because I don't even know where Kasarani is. Yeah, and sometimes these things happen, they happen life, and they're going to happen to everybody. So, yeah, they happen to everybody. So that's why sometimes I think that we should be good to each other, help each other, because it's like Noah's Ark. I think it's Noah's Ark story, in the biblical story about Noah's Ark. Was it the doves that were sent to report whether the water had gone or something? I don't remember the story very well, but some remained eating what was found there. And so I don't know whether that slept or something. I don't remember the story. It's a biblical story. So yeah, man, I kind of mixing everything up. And I can call it a kind of an elegy. Yeah, but I think already Raila is somebody who got history books for his positive contributions. And also in history, when you read history, even for great leaders, in, you always find what were the positive parts and what were the negative parts of that person, of that leader. So it's not always like 100% it was positive. Sometimes might not be so sorry for what has happened there. It's the wind is blowing a lot, and I think everything is shaky around. The door was open. So yeah, guys. So this is a short story. That's all I want to tell. Say as a Kenyan, we are moved by this, and that's all we have to say. I mean, there's that you can do. Something that has happened has happened. Nobody wishes for somebody to undergo this kind of, I mean, this is it's nature, Life is like that. You live and you move on, you die. You have to accept when it comes. Personally, I've lost people in my family also, so it's something that happens. Lost friends, very close, others, relatives, fathers, mothers, Life is like that. Even the stars, they say it's not something that we want it to happen, but it compulsorily happens. You can't stop it. They say that even the stars burn out. It's the nature of the universe, actually. Even someday, this universe will vanish. It said so. The stars, like the sun, will burn out. It will burn out. It's burning, converting hydrogen to helium, I think, something like that. Nuclear fusion. Fusion or fission? Fusion, I think. And the more it does that, the more eventually it will just become a dead star. And that's the end of life as we know it. Because without the sun, there'll be no plants. Without plants, there'll be no oxygen. Without oxygen, there'll be no you who's watching this video. You can't live without oxygen. Yeah, there'll be no food. And you know what it says, that the sun will burn and become hotter with time, and the oceans will melt. The fish will go, the marine life, everything go, everything will die. If the sun, the degrees centigrade goes to maybe 1,000,000 degrees centigrade. Right now we're having 100 degrees centigrade. 50, like if when the temperature passes 50 degrees centigrade, you feel it's quite hot, you know, quite hot. So it goes, what if it goes to millions? That's why I say that things, creatures like dinosaurs that lived were destroyed by what they call a neutron star. Neutron star. It fell, and that's 65 million years ago. If we are not being biblical, because if you go to the religion side, they have their own say. I mean, their belief of. I'm a religious person. I believe in the existence of God. But scientifically, they will tell you about muon, gluons, the atom. They'll tell you about electron, proton, and what else? Nucleus. No, we have the proton, electron, and neutron. Matter, which makes up an atom, and go to subatomic particles, where we have the quarks. Something below that, I think, is a quark. No, we have the hadrons. Hadrons are the heaviest particle. That's what constitute the proton, electron, and neutron. Hadrons, and the others, they are not so significant. They disappear. The quarks, quark level. From the quark level, you go to the fields. That's Faraday law, you know. Electromagnetism and electricity, the way it flows, and it's a continuous field that the weak nuclear force has to break the symmetry of the universe to create life, you know. If you go deep down to science, they believe that, and that's where you have that thing in Geneva they call moving electrons at the fast speed, photons. You know, sometimes you confuse photons come. It's the light you burn in the bulb, like the one burning up there. Let me show you. That one over there where my hand is pointing. That light you're seeing, that is photons. And the photons occur if you excite an electron to a high state, energy state, then it loses some of the energy in form of photon light for it to acquire the equilibrium, natural state. Yeah, guys, I don't think I want to continue this video because I think some noises is coming around. So it is a short video to reflect on the life of how the Kenyan landscape, political landscape shapes up with time, you know. Things happen, events happen, but RIP to the late Honourable Raila Odinga. Yeah. I never met him personally, but I used to see a lot of his photos, so we recall that they remain etched in our memories. Yeah. So guys, something short. As a content creator, I had to talk something about this. So yeah, for the rest of the world, you join us to mourn our great hero. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye from Nairobi, Kenya. Ciao. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It's at the rate Victor Ouya 6481 in YouTube. great content. There are shorts, you can watch a lot of stuff. I create a lot of content for you guys, so please watch and help me to grow. Yeah, because you see, now I come here to talk to you about this. What if I was not there? So content creators need to be there to talk about events, about things that happen in a society, like our society or other societies. So guys, subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one. Bye. From Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa. Okay, bye.